Hey, it's Goldie. Welcome back to the Goldie Jones channel where let me slow down, okay? Welcome back to the Goldie Jones's channel where you are constantly reminded that your love is golden, all right? Your love is golden is a reminder that what you possess is something so rare, unique, inextricably yours, all right? It's golden, and never forget that. Never forget it. All right, so today we are talking about the thumbnail here in this video. I know I was supposed to come on, was it last night or the night before that? But yeah, I know I have these children and my husband and my full-time job and this house and everything that I'm managing all at one time. So please forgive me for not being able to make it until now. But I really wanted to make sure that I got to see you guys today, that I got to leave a stream here for you guys to listen to, kind of think about, and share your perspective and comments down below. So I rushed in, and here I am now. So as usual, you guys already know the spiel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I have a goal this month, the remainder of this month, to gain 10 more subscribers. All right, so I think we're at 14 subscribers right now, and I would like to get to 24 subscribers before the end of the month. All right, so if you guys could help me do that by subscribing, by speaking about this content, sharing it with other people that you think might be interested, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so sis, you've been single how long? All right, you've been single how long? All right, let me grab my notes. I sat down without grabbing my notes. But I wanted to make sure that I kept notes for all my videos, but in particular this one, because I wanted to make sure that I hit on some things that are really important to me that need to be discussed with my fellow sisterin. All right. So I wanted to make sure that I hit these special points, okay? I'm in all of these Facebook groups, a lot of level up groups, a lot of women groups, a lot of marriage groups. I'm just in groups, okay? Women who are wanting to be married, women who are married, women who consider themselves sugar babies, women who consider themselves strong, independent Black women, or women in general who don't need no man. I'm just in a lot of groups, and I really like to learn the perspective of others, and I really like to be like current on the pulse of the community or the pulse of our culture or our sisterhood. So that's one of the reasons why I do enjoy being a member of so many different groups. But I was in a group. A couple months ago, and listening to some of the statements from some of the women. This particular group was a level up group, and so many women in that group, in most of the groups, are always talking about how they are healing. I'm healing. I healed from this. I accepted such poor treatment, and now I'm just taking time to myself to heal and celebrate myself. And in theory, it sounds good. I definitely understand the necessity to for us to take, an introspective look and examine, past hurt or even trauma and address it and deal with it so that we can move on into a healthier future. I definitely get it. But a lot of these women were single for, you know, 3 years, 5 years, 15 years. And when I say 15 years, I'm saying 15 years. These women have been single for 15 years. Um, there is another um, there's another term for this long-term singlehood that women have coined, and that's celibate. You know, they've been celibate for 3 years, celibate for 7 years, celibate for more than 10 years. And and it doesn't make any sense, ladies. It does not make any sense. Now, if you are a woman that has been single for more than 5 years, if you are a woman that has been celibate for more than 5 years, I'm going to say this. If you are a woman who has been single for more than 2 years, I bring it up to 3. If you've been single for more than 3 years, don't tell nobody. All right? If you've been celibate for more than a year, don't tell nobody. All right? I mean, you can share it in the groups. You can talk to your girls. But in terms of telling a man, sharing that with your new boo or somebody that's interested in you, please don't. Please don't. All right, my next video is going to be about keeping secrets. All right. In dating, we'll have to understand to keep secrets. All right, but we're going to get into that in the next video. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you can see when I go live again, and you can be one of the first ones up in there to listen and share your perspective. All right. But now, I was listening to another video where a woman asked a guy a question of, does a man care how long you've been single? And the guy says that men don't care how long you've been single. And I agree, because they have this ego thing. So if you are an amazing woman and you've done the work on yourself and you look good and you have a healthy mind and perspective, then this man with all of his ego is going to think that you, by some chance of some divine order of the universe, have been waiting for him for 5 years or however long it took for him to find you. So it's not that men don't want to be with women who've been single for a long time. And I agree with what the video, the person in the video was stating. But it's just that men are interested in the results of your singlehood. Okay. What resulted from you being single for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? What resulted 15 years? What resulted in that time? What have you been doing? Where have you been? Who are you now? 10 years later, after 10 years of being single, who are you now? All right. 5 years of being celibate, who are you now? All right. So it's the results that worry men. Okay. It's the results of your singlehood. And there are some things that I wrote down and I just want to speak them. And if they resonate with you, really take a second to think about what's being said. All right. So, all right. So number one, the first thing I wrote, are you antisocial? Has this time of solace, this time of self-love and self-care, has it taught you to be antisocial? Do you not have any girlfriends anymore? I mean, good quality on the up and up girlfriends. Not a fellow cat lady who is afraid to leave her house like you may be. Um, not not a little hot pocket who is, going to the club and passing it around to whomever is interested in buying her a drink or taking her home for the night. But do you have other sane, level-headed friends in your circle? Who are you experiencing life with? Who have you been experiencing life with during this time of singlehood, during this space and solitude? Who have you been able to depend on? That is a huge marker on how centered and rested you are as a woman as you come out of your time of solitude. All right. So your man is gonna want to know or want to see that you have some good quality connections with other women. They can be in your family or they can be just friends if you have been single for quite a while. He wants to know who have you been spending time with. Um, are you antisocial? Are you awkward in public settings now that you have allowed yourself to think for 5 years or 7 years or however long that people are out to get you, that um, that you can't trust anybody, that you don't need anybody. There's a lot of us out here that's so strong and independent, and it's not just the black woman thing, because believe me, I look around, all right? It's not just the black woman thing, but there's a lot of us out here that are so strong and independent that we feel that we don't need a man or anybody for that matter. And I understand that some of us have to be strong out of necessity. However, it creates an emotional block that you might not even notice yourself. Someone would have to tell you about yourself. And by the time that happens, a lot of us don't want to hear nothing about ourselves, okay? By the time that happens, most times, um, you're in conflict with this person. You got an attitude, and you are not hearing anything that they're talking about. Um, so, yeah, that's something to think about. Are you antisocial? Who have you been spending time with? Has this been, good, meaningful time where you can rebuild your life, or is this a whole bunch of pity parties? Is this these people that you have been spending time with during your time of solitude? Are these people quality, people on the up and up? A person that you might want to trade shoes with? Or are these people that are struggling in the same ways just as you, and you guys are just leaning on each other for support? Are you growing during this time of solitude, or are you simply looking to commiserate with other miserable souls? All right. All right. The second one. Um, men are you set in your ways? Okay. You've been single for 3 years, celibate for 3 years. You've been single or celibate for 5 or 10 years. Are you set in your ways? Do you have space for a man, a partner, a friend? Do you have space for that? I know many of us can say that we have a desire for these things, but do you have space for it? Have you intentionally created this space in your mind, in your heart, in your body for a partner? Have you created this space in your home? Could you imagine living with someone? You know, could you imagine learning a new routine for someone? Or are you too set in your ways? Are you um too adamant about having things done the way you expect them to be done that you can't make room for newness, for freshness, for a new perspective? All right. Are you strong and independent? Strong and independent for me is not necessarily a bad thing, but a lot of women give it like give those words negative connotations because we take it as or we use it. We use those words, we use those ideas as um, the building blocks to this shield, to this great wall that we have put up against being against everybody, the outside world, because we want to protect ourselves and we don't want to be hurt. And I understand that nobody wants to be hurt. I understand that nobody wants, um, that uncomfortable feeling of when things aren't going our way. However, um, relationships are a gamble. Like you are taking a chance at possibly being hurt. I mean, it's like a 50-50 chance. You could have the love of your life or could not, you know? And even if this person does turn out to be the love of your life, there also could still be hurt within that. Okay. A lot of us have these misconstrued notions of what relationships are, where we think that our feelings won't get hurt or we won't be unhappy sometimes. Now, in relationships and long term relationships, especially, your feelings may get hurt. Um, Now, in my other video, I mentioned this, but of course, you shouldn't be being abused or taken advantage of or misused. But you may like to go out 4 times a month or 3 times a month with your man. You might want to hold hands and walk down the boulevard, just, talking with Bay. I understand it. But he might not be interested in doing that, you know, and that might hurt your feelings. You might have a man that's an amazing provider that gives you everything that you need and everything that you want. But when it comes to the emotional fulfillment that you seek and want, that might not be his strong suit, right? That might not be what he knows how to do well. That might not be how he was raised or taught to treat a woman. He might have been raised to make sure that all of your needs are met. You may have been raised on that emotional fulfillment. And in teaching him about you and learning about who he is, your feelings may get hurt. All right. So I'm not talking about no fairy tale, storybook love where your feelings are hurt. Like sometimes your feelings get hurt. Um, and in the strong and independent idea, we shield ourselves from any potential hurt, you know. But at the same time, what that does is limit our ability to take those good risks that could turn out to be something amazing for us. All right. So are you strong and independent? Are you too strong? Are you too independent? You don't need a man for nothing. Okay. If that's you, a new man that you meet don't want to hear it, don't tell him. All right? Don't show him that. Always need him for something. That could be one of the reasons why you have been single for so long. All right? I know that we are attractive and any guy would be happy to have us, but a lot of times those little undetected things in our personality are revealed inadvertently, unbeknownst to us, and it's a turnoff. Think about that and address that if that resonates with you. All right. Are you mean? There's a lot of mean women out here. I mean, it's a lot of mean, unhappy women. And some of it stems from some of it stems from childhood trauma. Some of it stems from uh, you know, disappointments in adulthood. Regardless of where it stemmed from or why it's there, you need to address it. All right. You can't hide it. Guys can see through it. All right. No man is going to select a mean and nasty woman, nasty attitude. Always want to bring somebody down, condescending. This is a big one, and they don't tell you. But talking about other people, you think a man wants his woman wants to be partnered with a woman that takes pride and delight in dragging another woman and dragging somebody through the mud and making sure that you read them for filth? You think a man wants to claim that type of woman as his? No. And if your man is sitting there talking about other people with you and dragging other people with you, guess what? Sis, you with sis, okay? You with sis, all right? The men that we want, to lead our futures and guide us and all of that stuff, don't have time to sit there and talk about what that guy did wrong and how much of a mess they friend is. Like, no. A man that's in charge, a man that's a leader, a man with some decisiveness is not interested in knowing what his homeboy is doing wrong or even right. All right. So if you got your man sitting there talking about people with you, just understand that he is just there temporarily. All right. And you probably, if you pay attention to him, you probably will only want him there temporarily because you will have realized that you chose to be with him out of like desperation. I don't like to use that word, but out of desperation and not because he was a good man or a good leader or a good provider. Like you just wanted somebody. All right. Are you lazy? Are you lazy? There's a lot of talk going around the level up communities about women not going to school. Like women don't need to go to school or get degrees because we can find a high earning man to take care of us, right? There is a lot of talk about women shouldn't be working hard. Like women shouldn't work hard because we can find a high earning man to take care of us, right? Women shouldn't have goals or ambitions, because men don't like that and they don't want to compete against you or whatever, right? There is all of this like misleading and erroneous information going around. If you have a high quality man, best believe that he don't want no dummy. He don't want no lazy handout having chick with him. Sorry. I know it sounds good that all you need to do is be pretty, but you need to be pretty and have some ambition. You need to be pretty and have a work ethic. All right. Even if your man makes you a stay at home mom, you still need to have a work ethic. All right. And it's a lot of misleading thoughts about stay at home moms. There's a thought um, that they um, that it's not a real job or they don't do anything. It's very difficult to stay at home with kids. All right. So if you consider yourself lazy and you just waiting to meet a man who got some money so that you can have a baby and stay home, fix your face, fix your face and listen. All right. Because that work is really important work, but it's really difficult and it is work. It's work and you don't get a break from it. If you got a man that's paying all your bills and you staying home and taking care of the kids, guess what? He expect you to have the house, the food, like his clothes. He expects you to have everything in order. He expects you to be in charge of his life. They don't tell you that part. He expects you to be in charge of his life. You got to know how to read. You got to know how to write. You got to know how to make sure these bills paid on time. You got to make sure that you know how to answer questions or seek out answers to questions that he might have as it relates to something in your home life or whatever. Like, you can't be a dummy and you can't be lazy. I know that a lot of people are saying contrary to that, But the reality is, a man who is a high earner, who is high quality, he needs him an equally high quality woman on his side. And high quality women are not lazy. High quality women have ambition. And if you really want to go deeper into that idea, part of one of the ways that you can keep this man like just enthralled with you, just just can't get enough of you, is by having parts of your personality that you continue to roll out little by little, ideas that you manifest into reality, um, systems that you create, like businesses that you open. Like men want to see this in their women. And they don't mind paying for it and supporting it and getting it up off the ground. But, they appreciate seeing a woman who has some direction, some focus, and the ambition to like get there, make it all possible. So are you lazy? All right. Um, so I put this into two sections. So I just want to recap this first piece. Men don't mind if you're single. Men don't mind if you've been single for a long time. It's the end result that they're concerned with. All right. Are you antisocial? Are you set in your ways? Are you strong and independent? Are you mean? Are you lazy? Those are some things to think about in terms of the end result. All right. The resulting you after all of that time that you took to yourself. All right. The second section that I have here is that men are terrified of women being crazy, like crazy, like not like mentally ill crazy in terms of bipolarism or something like that, but like irrational, like crazy, like emotionally crazy. They are terrified of you being emotionally crazy. That's a good way to put it. Being emotionally crazy. They don't want you tearing up their house that they worked hard for, busting all the windows in their car, spray painting their stuff, going up to the job and cutting the fool. Like they don't want you to be going out and putting all their business over social media or like embarrassing them, emasculating them, picking them apart. Like they don't want that. And a lot of times, those women who have been single for a long time, they are emotionally crazy. Like they show signs of emotional craziness that scare men off. All right. So if any of these things resonate with you, think about it. Leave a comment below. We can talk about it. All right. But they are terrified of connecting, getting attached to a woman that's emotionally crazy. All right. Make sure you're not emotionally crazy. These are some examples that I listed of like emotional craziness being manifested. All right. So are you clingy? Like, can't move without him. You met him 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden you know that this your husband. You calling him every hour. You expecting him to call you every hour. You force him to use his lunch break calling you. You know what I'm saying? He can't go nowhere without you because you got to be with him every moment, every second that y'all have available to each other. Like, are you clingy? Are you clingy? Like, wanting to be wanted and wanting to be needed is very different than like having a clinger on you. You ever had like a jacket, maybe you gained a couple pounds, but you really want to wear this jacket today, so you put on your jacket and you get to moving your arms around in that space across the upper part of your back, over to your arms and everything, even maybe your bicep areas. I don't know. The top area is so tight that you like move your arms around and try to loosen it up a little bit. That's how it feels to be with a clingy woman. This man has to adjust his arms to get comfortable. He has to kind of stretch that material just to create the facade of more space, of room to move. Like that's how he feels when you are clinging onto him. All right. Are you clingy? All right. Are you desperate? Will you accept anything from anybody? Like, it's not even as it relates to men, but just people in general. Can people in general just do you wrong? Like, you so concerned, so consumed with being accepted and loved by anybody that you let people misuse you, you let people disrespect you, you let people disregard you. Like, those things. Are you desperate for acceptance or approval? Or can you stand on your own? Are you desperate for his approval or acceptance? Will you do anything to make him happy? I cringe. I mean, cringe when I read women say, "Oh, I do anything for my man." I'm sorry, but it's a lot that I'm not going to do. All right. And, or when I read these women say, "Oh, he can have anything. He can have anything I have." Or I do anything. I have a THREESOME. I will, um, I will do anything to make him happy. SEXUALLY. He can do whatever he wants. Really? Really? And I'll venture off to even say a husband should not have free reign of your body just because he married you. All right? Like, don't be desperate. But really think about, are you desperate? Are you accepting too much? Are you allowing too much just just to try to like keep him around? Just to have something? Are you going through and wallowing in the mud just to have something? Think about it. Are you desperate? All right. Are you afraid to walk away? Are you um are you tolerating so much, putting up with so much just to just to like keep that person there? Like, are you afraid to walk away? A lot of us make excuses. We say, "Oh, we got kids," or, "Oh, I don't have enough money," or, "Oh, um, I just need to keep him for 2 more weeks." Are you afraid to walk away? Um, if you are afraid to walk away, um, that's a sign that you're crazy. that you might have some of that emotional craziness that men don't want to partner with. All right. You gotta not be afraid to drop any one of these jokers at any time. I don't care if it's on your wedding day and he wanna act a fool. I don't care if you've been married for 3 hours and he get the cutting up. There's You always have to be willing to walk away. And he has to know that you are willing to walk away for this whole thing to work out in your favor. Okay. Um, Let me see. Okay. Are you able to relax and receive? Are you like so high strung? I'm still under the men are terrified that you might be emotionally crazy section. Um, do you know how to relax? Or are you so high strung where everything has to be a certain way? Like, are you like a neat freak? Have like a phobia for germs? Are you like weird like that? You know, think about it. Can you just relax and be in a space where you can just relax? I mean, if your home is clean and you have invited him over, can you relax? I don't really advocate going over to a man's house, but he invited you to his house. He seemed like a good dude. He trying to handle his business. Y'all been dating for 3 months or whatever, and he invited you to his house, and it's not as neat as your home is. It's not as clean as you would like for it to be, or as it would be if you lived there. Can you just relax and enjoy like his company, enjoy his time, or are you gonna be uptight or nervous being in his space? Can you receive from him? Can you allow him to give to you? Can you allow him the space to surprise you, to present something for you? Can you allow him to think of the idea of giving to you? Or are you the type who can't accept anything from anybody, who can't allow people to be there for you or to help you, who can't ask for help or receive help or, just allow someone else to make things easier for you? Um, if you are not able to relax, if you're not able to receive, that's an indicator to a guy that you might have some of that emotional craziness. All right. On the flip side of allowing a person to want to give to you, are you the type that's demanding in these level up streets with all of this misinformation going on? People are advising women to ask for your bills to be paid or ask for a new outfit before you even go on a date with him, or ask for them to pay your car note or your rent or something this month and y'all been dating for 2 months or 6 months. Like, it's cool to have that expectation if that's what you think you should have. It's cool to have that expectation, but don't require it. Allow him to give that to you if that's what he wants to give to you. You'll be able to see what kind of man you have if you sit back and relax and allow yourself to receive. If you have to tell him to tip the waiter, then you already know what's up, right? If you have to tell him that you need new tires because it's about to be wintertime and it's about to snow out here, and you mentioned that you haven't had new tires in 2 years or 3 years, and he doesn't offer to give you the money or offer to give you new tires, then guess what? He's telling you right there that he is not the type that's going to give to you. Like, read between the lines and kind of see what's going on before you like go too far with somebody that's not meant for you, or before you turn off somebody who could have been really good to you by asking for and demanding things up front. Allow yourself to receive. All right. Have your hand open and your mouth closed. Okay. You can receive those things with your hand open, but don't be out here just trying to demand stuff with your mouth open because it's a real turn off. All right. Um, so are you able to be honest with yourself? Now, a man doesn't need to see that you are like self-depreciating. He doesn't need to see that you are always talking about how fat you are or how ugly you are or how guys never used to like you or anything like that. But can you be honest with yourself when you've gained, that extra 5 pounds and you need to go to the gym to kind of shape up? Can you be honest with yourself and say, this shirt isn't flattering on me, or this haircut, like for example, a bob probably is not one of the best hairstyles for me. I need it like short or I need it long, either one. But that in between thing don't really work for me. Are you honest enough with yourself? Are you honest? If he sees that you are dishonest with yourself, then he is going to struggle to see how you can be honest with him about who you are. And even if you guys make it into a relationship, he's going to want you to be honest with him if he's making mistakes, if he's making a bad choice, if he shouldn't trust these new business partners, if he shouldn't invest in this property, if he shouldn't invest in these stocks. He's going to want you to be honest with him. So you need to show him that you can be honest with yourself. Can you be honest with yourself? All right. And then, so just to recap that part, I'm almost finished with this video, but just to recap that part, are you terrified? I mean, they are terrified. This is the section. They are terrified of your emotional crazy. And the pointers that, or the pointers that I wrote out there would be, don't be clingy, don't be desperate, don't be afraid to walk away, learn how to relax and receive, and then to be honest with yourself. All right. And the last the last thing I want you to think about is heeding all red flags. All right. And it's important to stay current in this life. All right. A lot of us think that secluding yourself or isolating yourself is the safest way, and it's really not the safest way. What it makes you is like a sitting duck with no information. All right. The longer that you stay out of the dating scene, the more like antiquated you are. The more antiquated you are, the more like you remember the dating scene from 5 years ago or 10 years ago. You're not up on the new and new. You're not up on all of the hot new snacks. Okay. Like, you don't know all of the new things, the new tricks, the new forms of manipulation that these guys are bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying? So keep yourself current. Um, and you can date and maybe even engage in a relationship and still keep your eyes open for red flags. All right. If things start looking shady or seedy, then you will take a step back from the relationship or whatever it might be. Like, heed the red flags. But the only way that you can see these red flags or recognize a red flag is if you are current in what if you are current in like the scene, if you know what's up. If you don't know what's up, then anybody can come and pull any wool over your eyes. All right. Um, so think about that. Um, Heed those red flags, but at the same time, give yourself permission, trust yourself enough to meet new people, to go new places, to try new things. All right. All right. So if you've been single for more than 2 or 3 years, don't tell nobody. All right. Saying that you've been single for 10 years is not a bragging right and it's not a badge of honor. So think about it before you do it. All right. Um, and try something new. It's 2020. If you are a woman that has been single for a while or celibate for a while, I'm gonna make a video for my celibate sisters too. But but um give yourself an opportunity to like go on a date. You know, try something in 2020. Try something new. They say you got to do something that you ain't never done before in order to get something that you ain't never had, or whatever they be saying. It sounds something like that. Do that for 2020, okay? All right, so remember to like, comment, please comment. I would love to hear what you guys think and subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel. I'm trying to get to 24 followers before the end of the month. So please subscribe to this channel. All right. And remember, my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group. It's free to join. You can search me on Facebook under Goldie Jones and send me a friend request and I'll add you to the group and we can get our online community popping. All right. So thanks again for watching this and sticking in here this long. Remember, your love is golden. Talk to you soon. Bye.